I would walk around 190.
Jesus
I'd get up to 190.
Christ.
I'd get up to 190.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You get up to 190 and
Yeah.
go down to 145. 45 fucking pounds?
Imagine losing 25 pounds in just 5 days. Sounds impossible, right? But for UFC fighters, it's just another fight week. We're talking about cutting so much water that your body feels like a raisin, choking down bland food day after day, and draining every last ounce of energy just to hit a number on a scale. Fighters collapse, some cry, some blackout, but they keep doing it. Drastic diets, intense dehydration, and pushing their bodies to dangerous limits. How do these athletes cut weight so fast? And why are they risking it all before even stepping into the cage? To understand why UFC fighters cut weight, we need to dive into why it's crucial in the world of mixed martial arts. Fighters want every possible advantage on fight night. Competing at a lighter weight class often means facing smaller opponents, which can translate to more power, reach, and strength. It can mean the difference between a title shot or getting cut from the roster. But cutting weight isn't just a strategy. It's become a deeply embedded part of the culture. Fighters grow up watching champions do it. It's a badge of toughness, a rite of passage. Some coaches even treat weight cutting as a mental battle more than a physical one, a way to test a fighter's discipline before the fight begins. Fighters train their minds to accept discomfort, to suffer willingly for days just to make weight. Because in their minds, the fight doesn't start in the octagon. It starts in the kitchen, in the sauna, in the bathroom mirror, staring at a scale that just won't budge. The psychological toll is immense, and some fighters admit the process of weight cutting is more taxing than the fight itself.
It was horrible, and it made me hate the process because my quality of life sucked. Training camps were torture,
The weight cutting timeline. Typically, the process starts weeks before the fight, with the most extreme measures taken during the final 7 days, known as Fight Week. Fighters can shed anywhere from 10 to 30 pounds during this short period. But this isn't something they eyeball. Most work with professional nutritionists, sports scientists, and performance coaches. Every gram of salt, every drop of water, every step taken is calculated. It's a science of suffering, a chess match with their own physiology. Some fighters begin adjusting their diets as early as 6 weeks out, gradually leaning out to prepare for the final push. The closer they are to their goal weight before fight week, the less extreme the last few days need to be. But not everyone follows the same script. Some gamble, some wait too long. And when that happens, the danger increases. The approach can also vary significantly depending on the fighter's body composition, previous experiences, and personal tolerance for discomfort. Stage 1. Diet manipulation. 2 to 3 weeks before weigh-ins, fighters reduce carbs drastically. Carbohydrates bind with water in the body. For every gram of glycogen stored, the body holds roughly 3 grams of water. By cutting carbs, they deplete glycogen and flush water. Protein and fat become the main sources of calories. Meals shrink. Foods are chosen for digestibility and low inflammation. Greens, boiled chicken, egg whites, and white fish become staples. Sauces, oils, and anything processed are off limits. Some fighters also track their fiber intake to minimize digestion-related bloating. Timing is key. Many fighters stop eating 4 to 5 hours before sleep. Some use intermittent fasting protocols to maximize metabolic flexibility. Others rely on daily weigh-ins to track progress, making micro adjustments to stay on course. Some even avoid chewing gum or drinking too much fluid. With meals, everything counts. Fighters may also reduce meal frequency, sticking to 2 or 3 meals per day to control insulin levels and avoid unnecessary water retention. Stage 2. Water loading. 7 days out, the water loading phase begins. Fighters increase their water intake dramatically. Some drink 1.5 to 2 gallons per day for 3 to 4 days straight. This floods the body, causing the kidneys and hormones like aldosterone to regulate downward, essentially encouraging the body to flush fluids quickly. This primes them for the sharp drop in water intake later. When they suddenly cut their water, their bodies continue to flush fluids at a high rate, leading to rapid water loss. It's like tricking your body's plumbing system into overdrive. Think of it like building pressure in a dam, only to release the gates at the last moment. Water loading is a delicate balance. If not done properly, it can cause electrolyte imbalances, bloating, and even cramping. That's why experienced fighters test their cut before camp. Some do trial cuts to see how their bodies respond weeks ahead. A botched water load can ruin the entire plan. These test runs allow for tailoring the process, reducing guesswork when fight week arrives. Stage 3. Sodium and carb reduction. At the same time, sodium intake is slashed. Sodium holds water, so cutting it helps the body shed even more. Most fighters drop to near zero sodium, avoiding sauces, seasonings, and even some vegetables. They become label reading machines. A pinch of salt can undo hours of effort. Carbs are also minimized even further. Bread, pasta, rice, and fruit are replaced with zucchini, spinach, and lettuce. The body moves into a semi-ketogenic state, relying on fat and protein while continuing to dump water. Meals become even more bland, often resembling hospital food in taste and texture. Fiber is reduced too, since it adds bulk to the digestive system. Some fighters use low-residue diets, consuming only easily digestible foods that leave minimal waste. In this phase, every bite matters. Even chewing too much can cause bloating or water retention. Food becomes fuel, nothing more. By now, some fighters report feeling mentally foggy, sleep-deprived, and emotionally unstable. Stage 4. Extreme dehydration. This is where it gets intense. With only 48 hours left before weigh-ins, fighters restrict water drastically, sometimes down to a few sips per day. The goal now is to sweat out the remaining water weight. Hot salt baths, saunas, sauna suits, plastic wraps, and heated blankets are all in play. Fighters bundle up in hoodies, jog in hotel hallways, shadow box, or sit in hot tubs. Some keep bathroom fans off to make the room steamier. Others tape up door cracks to trap heat. Creativity meets desperation. Hotel rooms become makeshift torture chambers. Sessions last 20 to 40 minutes at a time, often followed by 15-minute breaks. The cycle continues until the target weight is hit. During this phase, fighters may lose 8 to 12 pounds in a single day. Some even spit constantly into cups to lose ounces. A few fighters go as far as using laxatives or diuretics, though these are highly discouraged due to safety concerns. But it comes at a cost. Symptoms include nausea, muscle cramps, disorientation, and migraines. Some fighters lose consciousness, others vomit or get nosebleeds. It's brutal. And yet, most call it necessary. They crawl into towels soaked with sweat, stare into mirrors with sunken eyes, and tell themselves, just a little more. Risks and dangers of extreme weight cutting. Weight cutting is arguably the most dangerous part of a fighter's career. Severe dehydration affects the brain's ability to cushion itself, increasing the risk of concussions. Blood thickens, straining the heart. The kidneys work overtime, and in some cases shut down. Fighters like Renan Barão, Johnny Hendricks, and Aspen Ladd have had fights canceled due to failed cuts. In some tragic cases around the world, fighters have died. From amateurs to pros, no one is immune to the danger. Weight cutting doesn't discriminate by skill level. It punishes the unprepared. Even when a fighter survives the cut, performance can suffer. Dehydration leads to slower reaction times, reduced endurance, and cognitive fog. Fighters might look sharp on the scale, but enter the octagon already depleted. The body looks shredded, but the engine inside is running on fumes. Fans may see a confident warrior walk out, but inside, that fighter could be running on empty. Despite this, many continue. Why? Because the alternative might be fighting a naturally larger opponent. It's a game of risk versus reward. The psychological edge of being the bigger man is often worth the gamble, until it isn't. How fighters recover quickly post weigh-in. Once fighters hit their weight, the clock starts. They have just over 24 hours to rehydrate and rebuild their bodies. The first step is rehydration, but not just chugging water. They use oral rehydration salts, ORS, coconut water, Pedialyte, and carbohydrate powders mixed with specific mineral blends. Meals are small and frequent. First come soft, salty foods like white rice, sweet potatoes, and broths. Then lean proteins and healthy fats. The goal is to bring back glycogen without shocking the system. Some fighters eat every 90 minutes. Every bite is part of a larger formula. Some even use glucose monitoring tools to measure recovery. Rehydration is strategic. Some teams weigh fighters every 4 hours post-weigh-in to monitor rehydration efficiency. Others use urine color tests or digital scales with body composition tracking. The goal is to regain up to 10 to 15% of their body weight without causing bloating or gastric distress. And then there's the mental side. Fighters try to reset their mindset. They rewatch footage, visualize the fight, sleep as much as possible, and mentally transition from survival mode to killer instinct. Because in just a few hours, they'll walk into a cage in front of the world. No one sees the trauma that happened behind the curtain. They only see the fighter who made weight. Famous examples and controversies. Conor McGregor at 145 pounds looked skeletal. Darren Till once described his cut as dying slowly. Khabib missed weight before. Khabib's nemesis, Tony Ferguson, missed weight in one of the 5 times it got canceled. Kevin Lee nearly passed out on the scale. Cyborg cried during bath cuts. These are not one-offs, they are common stories. And then there's Ilia Topuria, who's found an interesting twist to traditional methods. Alongside the standard sauna sessions and hot baths, Topuria and his camp also swear by drinking wine before weigh-ins. Yes, wine. According to them, consuming half a liter of wine helps him lose around 2.5 pounds. It's not just about the physical effect. The wine also gets him buzzed.
You drink wine
Yeah.
whilst you cut weight.
Yeah, el viernes es el pesaje, ¿no?
Sí.
El jueves yo tomo mi vino.
I'm like, this guy's my fucking hero.
Everyone knows that when you are cutting weight, it's a little bit difficult to go to sleep to the bed, and at the same time, it helps me for the dehydration.
Do you not get buzzed?
I get very buzzed. Very buzzed. We don't think about the fighting, we just celebrate.
Yeah.
And I go to sleep like a baby. I wake up at the next morning with 2 pounds less because of the dehydration.
Making the brutal process slightly more enjoyable. While this method is unusual and certainly not medically recommended, it's a fascinating insight into how fighters sometimes creatively cope with the extremes of weight cutting. There are videos of fighters fainting on the scales, fighters stumbling off after weighing in, cornermen holding them up. These aren't private struggles, they're part of the public spectacle. Some fighters smile for the camera while holding back tears. It's an unspoken agreement. Make weight at all costs, or risk your paycheck, your ranking, and your future. Is there a better way? Some organizations have had enough. One championship outlawed weight cuts via dehydration after a tragic incident where one of their fighters, Yang Jianbing, died during a weight cut in 2015. His passing was a wake-up call for the organization and the MMA community at large. In response, one implemented a revolutionary system where fighters must weigh in multiple times leading up to the fight and pass hydration tests to ensure they are not dangerously dehydrating themselves. Their approach prioritizes health and safety, earning praise from medical professionals and athletes alike. Despite its success, this system has not yet been adopted by the UFC. California has introduced rules. Fighters who gain more than 10% between weigh-in and fight day are flagged. Repeat offenders are forced to move up a weight class. The debate rages on. Some say it's a personal choice. Others say it's institutional negligence. Many fans want change. but worry it will ruin the structure of MMA as we know it. What happens if everyone moves up? Will belts lose value? Will competition be fairer or more chaotic? But here's the shocking truth. Despite the dangers, fighters keep pushing. The question isn't if someone will suffer irreversible damage, it's when. How many more close calls will it take before the sport has no choice but to evolve? What if the next big name collapses on the scale? What if a title fight is canceled minutes before it starts? What happens when a fighter doesn't just struggle to make weight, but doesn't make it out alive? The truth is, the future of MMA may depend on how we answer those questions. And the next chapter, it's coming faster than we think. Please let us know what you think in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.